So what I'm thinking is that it might actually be this one, but I really don't know. So I'm not gonna mess with it too much. I don't wanna cause the thing to actually go off. And all the hesitation that I told you guys about while taking off from a stop, completely gone. I'm gonna list it for sale probably tomorrow, and then that's it. Welcome back to Broke Premier. If you are new to the channel, we've been working on my 2006 Audi A4 that I picked up for $500. The first episode, we discovered the reason why it was broke down when I bought it on the side of the road was that it had a snap timing chain. So we had it towed home, took it apart, found out that the timing chain was snapped. Then in the second episode, I ended up going to the junkyard, getting a second head that I ended up taking to the machine shop, having it resurfaced, pressure tested. Then I came home and redid the valve stem seals on it. Then in the third episode, we replaced the head gasket and the head and got this thing running for the first time. Then in the last episode, we ended up cleaning up a lot of the interior, just adding little bits and pieces to the car to finalize it, fix the front bumper by plastic welding it. But in this episode, basically, this is it. We're finishing everything. I'm gonna fix the front driver's side seat. I had mentioned in the last episode, there is a code for the airbag system that reads a high output inefficiency. And it's a common thing, I guess, with these Audis. There's basically just a bad connection underneath the seat. I kind of checked out the seat. I don't see that connector. I'm hoping that it's there and they haven't already updated that fix, because that means it'd be somewhere else. But before I do any of that, what I want to do first is I'm actually going to take you guys into the back, and I want to fix my stool because my lower back has been ripping working on this thing. I need to sit down on something cushioned. So I'm gonna fix that first, and then we're gonna come out and start messing with the seat. Let's get at it. Okay, that was a fail. Pretty much what I expected. They had already updated the issue here, so which means we have a problem somewhere else. I'm gonna guess it's the original little yellow connector, but basically, just like there's a bunch of connectors right here, there was another yellow connector that used to go right here. So what I'm thinking is that it might actually be this one that goes into the floorboard, but I really don't know. So I'm not gonna mess with it too much. I don't wanna cause the thing to actually go off. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna start cleaning the interior. I already have that seat out, so I'm gonna try to get this seat out next. And then I'm gonna start basically just vacuuming. There's some plastic pieces I still need to clean, but I'm gonna try to vacuum them all, clean it up, and then I will work on shampooing everything. That's the goal. Let's get at it. right guys, it's the next day. I don't think I mentioned, I think I just ran into it, but I ended up shampooing all the carpets and basically finishing the interior. And it came out pretty dang amazing. I'm really happy with the results. I mean, the whole thing just looks very sharp, very clean. So my goal for right now is I want to install the lock button that I got for the driver's side door. And then I want to install that little netting that's in the trunk that I think you guys might have saw some of last night. So that's my goal for right now. And then I will probably top off the coolant, throw in the floor mats, wipe down any extra little polish everywhere, probably put some detailer on it, and then go take some pictures. That's the goal. Let's get at it. All right guys, so I have finished the car. I have cleaned everything. I've taken pictures of it. I'm gonna list it for sale probably tomorrow. I still have to go get it smogged, so that's the last thing I have to do. And then that's it. Hopefully it's gone. But right now, what I'm actually gonna do is one of those before and then after videos. Let's get at it. All right guys, it's the next day here. I want to go take the car to get smogged, but on the way home, I've been running my scanner on the car as I'm driving it. And one of the codes that keep pending is large evap leak. So it's pending, and I don't want to go up to get it smogged and it click off right as I'm getting it smogged. It would ruin the whole thing. So trying to fix that now, because the last time I got this close, as soon as I started up the car again, it popped off permanently and it was ruined. So I want to try to fix it right now. Now, if you've watched in my previous episodes in the Dodge Grand Caravan, I built like this smoke tester for evap systems. Didn't really work. It was kind of cruddy, but I've kind of reinvented it a little bit. So before, what I used was that little soldering iron with some mineral oil and socks in here to kind of burn as a wick. It just didn't burn fast enough. It was kind of weak. So what I'm doing instead this time is I'm using incense. So I'll probably chop them down to about, about this tall so they don't burn anything. And I'm going to use this little piece of aluminum as a handle to hold all the incense. Then, instead of my normal bike pump that I used last time, which ended up being such a pain, I forgot that I have just a mini little tire pump if you get stuck on the side of the road. So I have one of those that I'm going to start using for this that should put in enough pressure. That's the goal. Let's get at it. All right guys, it is the next day here. I ended up passing the smog. That evap leak was completely fixed, and all the hesitation that I told you guys about while taking off from a stop, completely gone. So it was definitely because of the evap leak. I think it was just dumping fuel into the engine. That tube that I think you guys could see pretty well was basically just almost cut completely in half. There was just hanging on by a thread. So I just cut it in half, and then I put just a little bit of rubber hose that I had laying around and fixed everything. I smoke tested it again. I don't think I showed you guys the smoke tester thing wasn't working. What I ended up doing was taking some insets, kind of wrapping it around that soldering iron, and then just putting tin foil around that. And that worked amazing. That thing started smoking like crazy, and there was no leaks that I could find anywhere. Also, I found out that the airbag light is going off because there's a recall on the airbag. It actually came back on my smog report that I can just take it and get it fixed for free. So I'm gonna give it to the next person, let them handle that part. But what I really wanna know, guys, is would you prefer like 2 episodes a week about this length, or more prefer the longer episodes like I did last week, once a week? Let me know down in the comments. Basically, I'm just gonna score it up. Whichever gets the most is probably the direction I'll head, or I'll keep doing. But I am curious what you guys would prefer. Also, I have already listed the car for sale. I've had about 3 or 4 inputs, but I'm curious, what do you guys think I'm actually trying to sell it for? I'm really curious as to what you guys would value it at and what you think I'm probably selling it for. So put what you think it'd be worth, and then maybe put what you think I'm selling it for. Or if they're the same, they're the same. Anyhow, I'm actually heading up north to Spokane for the weekend, probably a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. So I don't know quite the odds of me actually selling this thing this week or next week and getting a new flip. I'm kind of strapped on money, so I don't know what the odds are of me getting a flip next week are. I'm hoping so. If not, I have one more secret that I've been holding from you guys. I think you'll be interested. I think you're gonna enjoy it. If it's time, we'll open that up next week. If not, hopefully I get another flip, because that's what I'd prefer, but we'll see. All right, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up another episode of Broke Premiere. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next week. Later, guys.